New from Therm O Web, this is the iCraft Deco Foil collection. This collection includes foil sheets. The tubes have 5 sheets of foil in them. There are packs of foil as well for certain colors. The packs of foil include 20 sheets. And there are special adhesives to get your foiling onto your projects. This is the hot melt adhesive. It comes with 5 sheets. This adhesive can be used both on fabric and paper crafts. You can see that I used the hot melt here on this card. And the other adhesive that is available is a foam adhesive. Gives your projects a little dimension and allows the foil to transfer onto the projects as well. And I used the foam adhesive here. We're going to show you a couple of tips and techniques for using these brand new adhesives and foils. To use the iCraft Deco Foil hot melt adhesive, you can die cut it, as I've done here. You can punch it. You can even use an electronic die cut machine. If you don't have any of those, you can hand cut your own shapes as well. So I'm going to show you how to apply the adhesive to your projects. First, you're going to take a shape of the adhesive. We have a die cut shape here, and you can see that it's very thin material. You're going to die cut it with the bumpy side face down. Now you can use on your mat a piece of parchment paper so that the adhesive doesn't stick to your mat. I didn't do that here and I got the piece up just fine. So what we're going to do is take our shape, place it on a piece of cardstock, and you're going to place it with the bumpy side down. The bumpy side is the adhesive. Okay, and then we're going to take a sheet of foil. This is the rainbow foil from the tube with 5 sheets of foil in it. And we're just going to cut a little piece of foil big enough to cover our adhesive. We lay it right on top with the foil color side facing towards you, facing up. Now you can use as a carrier a piece of copy paper. You can just fold it in half and lay it on top. I have also run the whole thing through without copy paper. I haven't had any problems doing that, and I feel like you get the best results by doing that. You just have to be careful when you're running it through the laminator that you run it through nice and flat so that it doesn't warp or fold. So we're just going to place it through a laminator. It's important to heat up your laminator for about 20 minutes, not only having the green ready button lit up, but just giving it plenty of time to get very, very hot. It takes a little bit of time to run through. Another way to do this would be to use Heidi Swapp's Mink machine, and you can see that the foil has melted on to the adhesive. Once you know that it's gone through, you can press your release button and slide out your paper. Now, give it a second to cool off. Once it's cool to the touch, gently lift, and you can see that the foiling has completely transferred to our cardstock. Isn't that beautiful? And I used this technique on several cards. These were die cut shapes. The thanks was die cut, and each scoop of ice cream was die cut. And then I ran it through the laminator. In this one, I did use the copy paper to sandwich it, and so I feel like the little bits of foil don't necessarily melt on as much. But when you don't use the copy paper, you get a perfect impression. So the foam comes with 2 sheets of foam. And you can see that the foam does give dimension, and it's covered on both sides with a liner paper. Doesn't matter which side you cut. So we're just going to punch out a heart shape. And you can see how easy that was. Then the nice part about the foam is that the adhesive is double-sided. So all you have to do is peel off one side, stick it to your project. Okay, and then you just need a small piece of foil. Unlike the hot melt with the laminator, you don't actually have to cut this because since you're not running it through laminator, you're not actually affecting the rest of your sheet. The laminator, once you run this whole sheet through, you can't use it again. That's why we cut a small sheet off. So for this technique, I'll just show you how easy it is to just rub the foil right onto the foam. So we're going to peel off the top backing layer. We're going to lay the foil right on top with the color of the foil facing up or towards you, and then you're just going to use your fingertip, not your nail, not a hard edge, just your fingertip, and you're just going to rub onto the foil. You can see the impression of the heart starting to come through, and once you've rubbed across the entire shape, you should have transferred the foil over. So then you can start lifting very carefully just to make sure that it's all been transferred. And look at this. Such an easy, wonderful way to add foiling to your projects. I've done that here. This piece of foam was cut with the Silhouette Cameo. You can absolutely use an electronic die cutter with this foam. It's thin. You just set it to the stamp cutting setting. This foam card, I used a manual die cut, and then I ran it through an embossing folder as well, so you can see the little tiny dots on the foil, just for a different effect. And finally, these little iced donuts were also cut with a manual die cut machine. So many options and so easy to use.